Hey everyone, it's Jessica Michaels here with the Shimmerz Paints design team. I have a 12 by 12 layout here for you today using a Cutfile by Peartree Cutfiles, and I am using a hip kit collection from way back on this one. So doing a bit of stash busting. And speaking of stash busting, I am pairing this layout up with Acrylic Stash Busting series, which is a series every 18th and 28th of the month that I do with a few of my scrappy friends. So their videos will be linked below down in the description for you to catch as well. I am prepping this background paper from Hip Kit with some white gesso, and I'm just kind of smushing it on with my spatula and smearing it around, just kind of trying to soften the background a little bit and also prep the paper for some heavy mixed media here. So I've got some Shimmerz paints here that I'm going to be using today. I'm going to start with a Shimmerz product in Wee Bit of Green, and it's actually Wee Bit O Green. And I just really love this color. It is so pretty. This is my first time using this one, and I'm definitely going to use it again and again and again because I really love that shade. It's like a really pretty kind of aquamarine, like sea glass kind of look, which is just going to go perfect with this layout. This next one here is also a Shimmerz. It's called Ultra Marine. It's a little bit on the bluer side than I would normally use, but I wanted to pull in some really pretty blue on this one to match the photo that I'm using, which was a photo of me and two of my littles, two of the three, in front of this really cool lighthouse that we found when we were on our beach trip in Lake Ontario in July. So I wanted to really pull in a whole bunch of colors on this one. This blue that I just put down was Boogie Boardin blue. That one's a Creameez product. They are a little bit different. The Creameez come hard in the pot, and then you have to add water to them to soften them up and use them, where the Shimmerz are already good to go to use. So they are a little bit different product. Creameez, I would say, is a lot less shimmery than the Shimmerz product, but still a really good consistency, and they dry really pretty. So the Shimmerz products are going to dry a lot more shimmery than the other ones, but when you mix them all together, it just creates a really pretty effect like this. You'll notice that I do water down my gesso before I use my mixed media product. That just really helps with the blending of my colors and be able to move the product around a little bit better. And also it softens it up too, because it's pretty thick when it comes straight out of the pot like this. So when you add water to it, it allows you to have more blendability and be able to move that product around or blend with other colors. I've got that yellow, which is the sunflower shade of Shimmerz, and then the orangish one is orange sherbet, I don't know. I call it orange sherbet, but I think it's like sorbet is the proper terminology. I don't know. You guys are probably laughing at me trying to pronounce all these names. And then to finish off my mixed media, I always like to just splatter it with some white gesso or white acrylic paint. In this case, I had my white gesso handy, so I just grabbed that and I just watered some down with my water and my paintbrush and flicked it on for some splatters just to break up the colors a little bit more. And I like to do that on pattern paper like this too, to kind of put some splatters onto the pattern paper sections as well to, again, break up the pattern a little bit more and kind of pull it into the mixed media. I'm just going to go ahead and back my photo with some white cardstock here, and I wanted to have a little triangle kind of photo corner on here on this top one, just because that's really the only photo corner that I'm going to have showing. So I wanted to kind of highlight that corner and put that on there. So I just used a corner punch. It's a photo corner punch. I think it's by We Are Makers, if I remember right. And I just used that real quick from some little pattern paper from this Hip Kit Club kit that I had here from the, I think it's from the Pocket kit whenever they were doing that. And then I'm just grabbing some tissue paper and I'm just gluing this to the back of my photo just to add some extra layers. I'm going to actually grab some more of the pattern papers. These are the smaller ones in the Pocket kit from Hip Kit, and I'm just cutting them down just to add some more little pops of color and some additional layers behind my photo, just to pull in some more color. Since my background is really colorful, I wanted to pull in some of that color around my photo as well. So I am just continuing layering these. I ended up flipping this one onto the other side because the left side is going to be tucked in behind my Cutfile lighthouse. So I didn't feel like I had to overly embellish or layer that side of my photo. So that's pretty much done. I've got my lighthouse here. You see I keep pulling it onto my layout. My mixed media isn't quite dry at this point, so I'm just lightly pulling these over and seeing where everything's going to lay, making sure I have pops of color where I want them, and then I'm just going to go ahead and glue my photo down at this point. It's pretty dry at this point, so I'm just going to go ahead and start gluing. My lighthouse, I did pull it off to the side and put my tape gun with my tape runner on there because it's white. So I didn't want to risk laying it face down on my desk in case I had any mixed media residue on my glass mat that I didn't wipe off. I'm pretty bad about that whenever I'm actually making a layout and cleaning it off. I just quickly clean it off, and then I give my glass mat a deep clean I would say like every month or two, and just really get all of the adhesive and everything that's remaining off at that point. So I've got these really super cute flowers that I love to use on summery layouts like this. This is from the Bloom and Grow collection by Coco Vanilla Studio, I think it was. And I just love these flowers. I've ordered several packs of those flowers just to use on summery layouts because they're just so good. They're my favorite florals. Sometimes I cut them in half to use just half of them because usually I'm just tucking them in the sides like this. And I do like to rough up the edges, just kind of like use my fingernails to just pull them up off of the page and bend them a little bit to give them a little bit more dimension. My word phrases are from the Pocket Life Kit from HipKit as well from this particular month, and then some chipboard pieces that I've grabbed like that camera and the vacay mode. I am going to use some Flair on this one by Scrappin Happy Studio. I'll grab that here in a second. And my acrylic title, because I'm doing some acrylic stash busting today, is going to be by Color Cast Designs. And then I'm also throwing in some acrylics at the very end of this layout too with this HipKit Club. This was one of the kits that I think first started coming out with the acrylics in them, and I just grabbed a few of those. And I don't remember acrylics always being in the hip kits, but it was in this random one that's a kind of summery. So I'm going to grab a few of those because I've never used them from this collection. So I'm going to grab those and use them on here as well. I've got this Flair, just seeing where I want to place my little flower. I backed my cut file before I started this layout. I did a white on white cut file to match my lighthouse in my photo because it was just basically all white and had like some little pops of dark for little vents or windows or something. So I did make the windows in the lighthouse on the cut file dark to match, but I stuck with white on white. Originally I was going to do some hand sewing around all of those sections in my lighthouse, and in the end I decided not to do that because we would have been here forever and I would have taken all night just to do that, and sometimes my scrappy time is fairly limited with having 3 kids and having a busy lifestyle. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to skip the sewing on this one, but it was a good idea and concept and it would have looked really pretty, but you know what, I don't feel like I needed that extra pop when I have so much mixed media and colorful goodness going on anyways. So it's fine. I really like how this one turns out in the end. I did back this cut file before I started this. The cut file itself, I think it's called Out to Sea by Peartree Cutfiles, and I just backed it with some textured white cardstock. I cut it in smooth white cardstock, and then I backed the rocks at the bottom with a paper from the 49 and Market Beach Vibes collection. So I'm kind of pulling random bits from here and there, but that's what I backed my rocks with because they kind of looked a little sandy, a little kind of concrete-ish, like the rocks in my photo look. So I wanted to kind of mimic my photo a little bit. I like to tuck in little bits of thread as well, so I've put that behind my Flair from Scrappin Happy Studio, and then I added some over here on the right side as well. This gold here that I'm going to add is so pretty. This is a newer one. It's called Stay Golden. It's a Shimmerz product, and it's really thick, so when you splatter it on, make sure you're mixing it up really, really well before you splatter it and use it, but it is so pretty and adds just the perfect pop of gold. It's just amazing. So I just wanted to break up those colors and just add a little pop of gold. And then I've got some sequins here. These are by Pink Fresh Studio. They're called Dewdrops, and these are the iridescent ones. They are so pretty. I wish you could see them a little bit better here on camera, but when you tilt them and pick up your paper and tilt them and look at them, turn it different ways, they are so pretty, and they pull different colors. I just absolutely love them, and they look like little bubbles, but with really pretty undertones to them. I just love it. I'm going to tuck a little bit more thread here over on this side just because it looked like it was lacking a little something, and then I wanted to put some more dewdrops on top of my thread. So I'm just going to throw a few on over here using my sequin tool, and then I've got these little chevron dies from Bramble Fox. I just wanted to add a little pop of arrows over here just to point to us in our photo because we're so small in this photo. It's hard to tell that we're even there, so I wanted to kind of draw a little bit of attention to say, hey, we're here, and it works out really well. I've got some acrylics here. These are the ones that I mentioned from the Hip Kit Club kit that I'm using. I'm just going to throw a few of these little seashells down here at the bottom. Now, we weren't at the ocean, so technically there wasn't really seashells, but it was a leak, so you know what? It's fine. I thought they were super cute, and they're acrylic, and I'm doing acrylic stash busting, so I wanted to be able to use a few of these up that have been in my stash for so long. I'm just gonna go ahead and add my date stamp here right on the lighthouse. Very brave for me, but it turned out really well. Here's the finished layout. I hope you guys enjoyed this process today, and I hope that I've inspired you to create something with mixed media and Shimmerz products and use all those beautiful colors on your projects. So I'll link the colors below that I've used and any products as well. So thank you guys so much for watching, and make sure you check out my friends' videos that are playing along with acrylic stash busting down below in the description. Thanks guys, have a great day. Bye-bye.